This here is a 1 terabyte portable hard drive, and this has been my mass storage for essentially this entire YouTube channel. All my YouTube videos are on here, all sorts of effects, music, everything that has to do with this YouTube channel is on this little hard drive here. I even edit off this thing, and it's slowly but surely running out of storage for sure as my channel has been growing, and so I thought it'd be time to build a server. Now, while a good portion of this server build is going to be for just mass storage for my whole YouTube channel and everything like that, I want to, experiment with some other things as well, like Plex, which is like your own media streaming service, Pi-hole, which is an ad blocker for your whole home network, some things like that. So I'm going to get more into that stuff in later videos probably, but for now, I'm going to build the server and bring you guys along for the ride. Obviously, the brain of this whole thing is going to be the motherboard and CPU. So I picked this used motherboard, CPU, and RAM combo off of eBay for around $100. Now, it's an i5 6600K CPU under here. Obviously, won't need a K CPU, which is an unlocked Intel CPU for this, because that's for overclocking and things like that, but that's just so happened to be what's in here. We also have 16 gigabytes of DDR3, so this is definitely an older, motherboard CPU combo here. But we're still getting 4 cores and 8 threads, which should be plenty enough for me starting out. Also, this is an ASUS Z170M for those of you curious what the motherboard setup is here. For the hard drives, now like I said, this is kind of a beginner server build, and I'm definitely leaving a bit of room to upgrade in the future. But I got these 2 HGST hard drives in a combo kit. Now they are refurbished. Now, you can do what you will with that. You can always go with brand new hard drives. But refurbished hard drives are definitely going to be a lot cheaper. These are both 4 terabyte drives, so I'm going to use one as my main storage for now, and then one as a redundant drive. But like I said, this can always be upgraded in the future. I can always add more hard drives. I also almost forgot to mention I'm going to be using this Samsung 840 Pro 512 gigabyte SSD as my boot drive to hold the operating system and everything for the server. I highly recommend going with an SSD for that. Not only are they going to be faster for your operating system, but they're going to be a lot more reliable too. So you want your OS on a very stable, reliable storage device, so that's why I went with this, and I just happen to have it on hand as well. Powering this whole setup is going to be the Be Quiet Pure Power 12. This is a 650 watt power supply, which should be plenty enough for my server. Has plenty of extra SATA connections, to add extra hard drives in the future. The reason I went with this is I want something super quiet, and it has to be reliable as well, because this thing's going to be running 24/7, and so that also needs to be power efficient as well, because I don't want to cut into my power bill too much with this bad boy. So that's why I went with this power supply. And last but not least, something to put all the parts in is the Classico Storage Master. Now I think this is a dark rock case. I don't actually see any branding. I'm pretty sure this is a dark rock case. Basically, this is like a desktop case with a whole bunch of hard drive bays and plenty of room for server stuff. So I'm super excited for this case. It has plenty of airflow. I'm actually going to unbox this right now and see what it looks like. Look at that. Right out of Guan City. Nice. I think I might need to actually unbox this on the ground. This is a massive box here. Okay. It's upside down. There we go. Now, taking a look at this thing, this is going to be perfect for my server build because it has mesh airflow everywhere, and cooling is a big important thing for these things. So we got a full mesh side panel, we've got a mesh front panel, we've got another mesh side panel, Lots of ventilation on the back side. It's got a mesh filter on top, which is magnetic, so you can easily clean that. That's super nice. Looks like you can also mount a rad up there. And then we also have a mesh dust filter for the power supply, looks like, as well. Also, I just noticed they have vertical GPU mounting support if you wanted to mount a vertical GPU in your server. I guess that's cool. This would actually be a good case for it because you got this whole mesh side panel on here. So your GPU, if you had it vertically mounted, would get plenty of airflow. Also has captive side panel thumb screws. That's a nice feature right there. That's usually something you see on more higher end cases. So this is a solid case. I think it ran me about 80 bucks or something like that, which isn't too bad. About middle of the road, I feel like. So yeah, like I mentioned, we've got a ton of hard drive bays here. You can mount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hard drives there. You have 2 more mounting spots down here on the bottom. And then looks like we can mount 2 more hard drives down here in the basement here. So that's a total of 12 hard drive mounting spots plus 2 spots on the back here for SSDs. So you can definitely throw some storage in this thing, which is awesome. Also, I love this little cable organization. It's actually these like little plastic housings that they have all their cords running through. Very clean. This is going to make cable management super easy. I also almost forgot to mention the top. Got your power button, RGB button, I guess, if you have RGB fans, because it has a little light there. Probably going to be a reset button in my case. USB 2.0, headphone jack, microphone jack, and 2 USB 3.0 ports right there. So those are the parts in the server, and I think it allows a lot of room to upgrade, even though this is obviously a starter server, specifically with that case, which is going to be awesome. I'm going to have a lot more room to upgrade hard drives and storage in the future, but that is for later. Right now, I need to get this motherboard cleaned, and oh my gosh, this thing is disgusting. Look at all that nastiness. Look down in those fins. That is someone else's nastiness. That is someone else's skin and hair in there. That's disgusting. I'm also excited to take this cooler off and see how this thermal paste has fared over the years. Oh, it's actually pretty fresh. That feels like that was pretty recently changed, actually. That's not old. That was unexpected, actually. I expected that to be some dry, crusty thermal paste under there, so that's a nice surprise. I think I'm going to start off cleaning the CPU cooler, because this is the worst part of it. I'm going to have to clean this whole motherboard, though. There's a good layer of dust over everything, but give this thing a good old rub down. Get in here and get the CPU cleaned up. I need a Q-tip and clean up those edges a little bit. It's all in the details, you know? No one's ever going to see this CPU again, probably. That's okay. At least I'll know it's nice and clean. And, as for blowing out this fan, I think I'm going to take that outside, because that's gross. Welcome to my garage. It's very nice. And there's lots of mice in here, so I'm sure they won't mind all this nasty... Clean your stuff, alright? That PC you have sitting in the corner, clean it, alright? Just looking at this, I realized you can actually unclip a fan on an Intel stock cooler. Holy smokes. After all that dusting out, I take the fan off and there's still that much in there. That's crazy. Well, that's gonna make it a lot easier. And then what you do is you get yourself a wipe, and you can wipe down the fan blades and get it all nice and clean. And it's gonna look brand new after this. Alright, I got that pretty clean, but I think I just had an idea on how to make this even cleaner, actually. It's aluminum. Should be fine. So, as you can see, the fan looks brand new. Look at that. Super clean. The heatsink is clean. You can actually see through it now. You couldn't actually see through it before, so that's pretty cool. So since I, doused this in water, I'm going to leave that to dry before installing it back on the motherboard and the fan and, spraying water all over my brand new motherboard. I also did clean the motherboard as well and doused myself in bleach after touching this nasty, nasty stuff. Alright, I waited a minute. Should be dry, and I can go ahead and install this on the motherboard. Get some fresh thermal paste on here. I'm using some Arctic, what is this? This is MX6. Okay, that is not, why is it sticking so badly? Oh my gosh. Okay, ignore the thermal paste application. It's fine. Now I know what some of you are probably saying. Oh my gosh, Derek, you're using an Intel stock cooler on your server. That's not gonna work. That's not good enough. This is a beginner server, buddy. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna cool the CPU fine. It's not like it's gonna be working overly hard. Maybe one day I'll be bougie and have, a liquid cooled server like you. But today is not that day. So we're sticking with the Intel stock cooler. Also, that was not the proper way to install it. You're supposed to go in a crisscross pattern and I just mashed it down, but it's fine. Also, something I just noticed about this motherboard is, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not flat. It has a twist to it. That's probably okay. Well, anyway, even with our warped motherboard, that's really weird. It'll be flat when I screw it down in the case, so, Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this motherboard installed in the case here. One thing I forgot to mention about this case, it actually has 4 pre-installed fans. It's got 3 intakes and 1 exhaust. They're all 120mm fans, so that's really awesome as well. Let's see if these standoffs are in the right place or not. I don't think so, because this is a micro ATX board, and these standoffs are in an ATX layout, so I'm going to have to swap some of these around. Alright, I got the standoffs all swapped around. Now we can go ahead and install the motherboard. Need to make sure I put the I/O shield in first, because that's going to bother me for the rest of my life if I don't. Alright, motherboard is installed. I've got the CPU cooler all clean, fresh thermal paste on there. That is good to go. I'm going to go ahead and install these hard drives now. I'm going to be honest, I don't really like that design. You have to actually pull the cage out. You have to undo 4 screws and a couple clips to actually pull the cage out to get the hard drive in, which I guess makes sense because there's no other way to, screw it in and mount it, but there's better designs for that. But anyway, I'm going to make sure I put my connections towards the back of the case because I want everything to run out behind the back of the case. That way it's all clean. If I can, does it not fit that way? I'm putting it in back, if that makes sense. Go ahead and pop this guy back in here. While I'm back here, I might as well go ahead and throw my SSD in as well for my boot drive. I put my SSD in upside down in the tray. I'm going to have to flip it around so that the cables are actually facing down, because otherwise they're going to run into that little lip right here behind the motherboard. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Ow! And that's why you buy an SSD, because this is probably fine from that fall. Everything's going to be fine. Alright, SSD installed, 2 hard drives installed. I think my next and final step is to get the power supply in and hook everything up. Now this thing is going to be facing, this thing is going to be sitting on a desk, so I'm going to go ahead and put the power supply facing down. That way it gets plenty of airflow through that mesh filter on the bottom. There's also feet on the bottom here, so you got about a 3/4 inch of space between the bottom of the case and the table beneath it. So Should have plenty of airflow for this Be Quiet power supply. Cool. Power supply's installed. Time to plug everything in. Alright, I got everything all plugged in and cleaned up. I think it actually turned out pretty good, all things considered. Obviously, this is a pretty simple build. I did leave, the SATA connections, both the SATA power and the SATA data cables loose. I didn't zip tie them just in case, we need any troubleshooting or anything like that. That way they're just easy, to pull out, swap out, whatever. So, just a little idea there in case you guys are building your own server. Yeah. I think this thing is ready to go. It's time to see if this thing actually boots up. Okie dokie. Time to flip the power switch and press the power button. We've got fans spinning, so that's a good sign. I hear the hard drive's powering up. We got keyboard and mouse lights. And boom, just like that, we've got a working server PC. It's weird turning on a computer that doesn't have RGB these days. It's kind of interesting. Also, something I find really funny is the fans on this thing are pretty dang quiet. I can actually hear the hard drive spinning louder than the fans are blowing, which is pretty insane. It'll be interesting to see, how this thing does under load, obviously, but looks like not all of our hard drives are showing up. We got one hard drive showing up, so that's a little interesting, but we'll figure that out in the next video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this episode of me building this server PC right here. I'm super excited about it. If you're enjoying the server content, make sure to stay tuned for the next video about it, where I'm actually going to be installing software and actually setting this thing up on my network and all of that stuff. So make sure to stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.